Assalamu alaikum developers, welcome back to the channel, always with Younes Charfaoui. In this video, we are going to see how we can implement a custom savers in Jetpack Compose to save states or to remember states across configuration changes. So let's get started. So we are using Jetpack Compose, and in a lot of cases, we are using something like the following. We are trying to save something, remember some state, right? So let's call it state, and let's pretend we want to remember something, right? Usually we use the function remember, of course, and this would be a cross-line function that can remember everything. And here we usually remember something. So let's pretend we have a person class, and sometimes we want to save it like that. Makes sense, Younes, for example. We want to remember this across recompositions. And that's totally fine. You can use this in any text you want, right? So we can have the state or our persons, not username, and that would work fine. You can even update it by make it a var and stuff like that. So I can change this to person, and that would work perfectly fine. Nothing special here. But sometimes, let's say that the device rotates during that, and let's say we did update this access unit to something else. Let's say we have a mutable state. Okay, so this will observe it, like it will get back to the first state, and that's the issue. For that, we use something called remember savable. Using that remember savable, right, we can save something like that. So if you run the app, you are going to see it won't work. If you go here to the logcat, of course, you're going to see that illegal argument exception. Why? This one cannot be saved using the current savable state registry. Why? Because here we do have something special, an object that will be responsible to save this thing. Like the default one will be able to save normal stuff like primitives, int, string, and stuff like that. But since we have custom object here, we can't do that. One way to do that, one way to fix this issue directly is to create a parsable. So here we create a parsable like that. So here you can also put a parselize here, of course. So you need to import it, make sure to import it from Kotlin X parselize. And with that approach right now, if you have simple stuff that can be parsable, of course, we can run the application and that would work perfectly fine. But in other cases, we won't be able to use parsable classes. And for that reason, we need to implement a custom saver in which we tell it exactly how to save and how to load the values. Okay, as you can see, it is working perfectly fine. Like this is a normal text we are using. So let's pretend we are going to delete that and we are going to save it like that. So let's include other types. For example, let's include, for example, the age, and for example, if he is married or not. Okay, he is married will be a boolean, and here, sorry, the age needs to be an int. So we are saving multiple stuff. You can even use your custom objects also. So how to do that? Yeah, let's give it some values. So 23, and here false. So this right now wouldn't work. We need to implement custom saver. So how to do that? We need to create, well, you can do it in multiple ways. I'm going to create something called an object class. Let's call it person saver, in which we are going to implement our savers. So here we can call it saver like that. And here we need to implement that. There are two simple types by which you can create savers easily. One called map saver, and the other one is called list saver. Okay, we are going to use both in order to explain. So we can use map saver like that, and are going to implement this in a minute. There is save, and there is also the restore. And by doing that, what we can do, we can go here to the remember savable and click on the parameters. There is a saver here. You can give it saver. You can call person saver dot our implementation of saver. Okay, that's on how to do it. And of course, if you go here, you are going to need this one. This object is the saver. Okay, and if you check the saver, it's two methods, right? It's the save and it's the restore with generic types, as you can see. So by default, the map saver implement these two. Well, here we are using the list saver under the hood, and the list saver is simply a saver with original and any, and it tells you can go through this code and read it. It's simple class. We are just looping through values and getting the values and stuff like that. Nothing special. Okay, so here in the map saver, you need to implement two methods. Okay, there is the save, and here you give it something, and there is the restore, and you give it something. Okay, so here we need to return a map. Okay, we need to return a map of simple stuff, and we need to make the object, like the object you are passing is a person. Okay, so we can define it like that, person, and that would work fine, right? And also here we need to specify that it will return as a map. We can put it map like that, and that would work. And here we are going to return, of course, a person. Okay, this is how you can do it. You can specify the map, or you can use the it directly. It's not a problem. So here in the map, we need to save our person. So we need to create key value stuff. So here, of course, we have to specify things with this one. To person, for example, the first thing is the age. I'm going to put the age here. You can specify correctly with the correct ordering. It's up to you on how to implement it. And also is married. So I can select this, do something like that, go to the beginning, do like that, and up, it is implemented. Now, if you want to retrieve it, you have a map, right? As you can see, the map is a string to any. It means you need to cast it. So here, what you can do with the map, right? Or I can rename it to map, as I did earlier. And map here, I can get the value of user name, and I need to cast it to string. That's it. Duplicate this 3 times, do this here, do this here. Map here is age, it means it needs to be an int. And here it's a boolean, it needs to be a boolean. Like that, and that would perfectly work. If you run the application, it would work simply. The only problem, like I dislike about that, is you need to specify the casting, and you need to do that correctly, otherwise it will break. But since we know what our types, we can do that easily. The other implementation is list saver. So we can implement it like that. So here in the saver, you are getting a person, but you are getting a list instead of a map. So here how we can pass it, you can pass it list of, you need to return list of stuff, any. Well, you can pass anything, just know what you are passing so you can retrieve it. You can pass this order, you can get the list, the first element, the second element, and stuff like that. And you can get the element with this indices and with the right thing. But you need to make sure you are doing that correctly. If that scales to bigger objects, I don't know, this is simple person object, but if you have like really big project, it would be a mistake. So maybe you would write some unit tests for that to ensure that you are mapping things correctly. Otherwise, like these are simple savers, you can use a custom saver. It means you have to implement, let me put another val. You can put an implementation of the object like that, of the saver, and you need to specify many stuff, right? Here you need to specify the input and the output, the original and the savable. Savable can be any, and here you need to specify what is getting saved. So I can specify a list is getting saved of any object. We can do stuff like that. And then we can implement the methods. And here you need to specify how you are restoring the value of person from a list of any, and how you are saving a person into a list of any, and that would also work. And this is basically how you can store, save things using a custom savable. You would need that, but in most cases, since the object can be parsable, you don't have to write stuff like that. But if you need it, there you have it. You can use the list. Usually I use the list saver and the map saver for all the cases. In some cases, you might need that. So here it is how to do it and ensure you are like testing, having some kind of test to ensure that you are saving and restoring the values correctly. That's it for this video. Thanks a lot for watching this video to the end. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel as always, and see you in the next videos. Salam alaikum.